Alright, you're welcome to this audiobook. This is Uche A, the author of this book, Minding the Mind, and this is an audiobook.
Hi, you're welcome to chapter 5 of Minding the Mind by Uche A. Today we'll be talking about the power of therapy, why you need support. The power of therapy, why you need support. I know you will read this book, I know you will listen to this audio and everything, but you should still understand that this doesn't replace the place of therapy. And like I always say, or like I've said in the past, you are your first therapist, and while you are attending therapy or while you're taking therapy, you need to see it as a collaboration. You're collaborating with your therapist to ensure that you are following everything that is needed for you to become better. So this chapter 5 is talking about the power of therapy, why you need support. Why you should not shy away from support, why you should not see it as, oh, it's not necessary. I have a book, I have this. No, you should still go for therapy if it is, persistent. If you realize that, oh, I'm not being able to do this thing alone, still go for therapy. And, fortunately enough, it is free. It is free. Just an hour with us, and we'll guide you through one or two things, and even if it's more, we'll just fix time for you and you have free therapy. And this is for now. Enjoy it while it is free, because very soon, I don't know if the engagements gets more, and we tend to have more people who tend to hire other people who would be part of this, and it might not be totally free, but definitely to be affordable. Therapy shouldn't be something you pay off your budget, maybe your feeding budget or whatever, to get it. It's something you should be able to get even without doing so much. So yeah, we want to talk about the power of therapy, why you need therapy. Healing is not meant to be a solitary journey. It's not meant to be something you do alone. It's not meant to be a boring thing. Human beings are wired for connection, and therapy is one of the safest structured spaces for that connection to foster growth, healing, and self-understanding. Seeking therapy is not a sign of weakness. It is an act of courage. Self-respect. I'm literally reading from the book. Most of what I'll be saying here, I'll be literally reading from the book, because I want you to see it just the way it is, and still get the book, because you also need to read it yourself. Okay, so number one, debunking therapy myths. When we talk about myths, myths in therapy, we're talking about things that are not true, lies. Therapy lies people have told about therapy. Number one, lies. Therapy is only for people who are broken. You say, oh, you need therapy only when you have trauma, when you have pain, when sometimes you can just, consult a therapy to keep you busy. You guys should just talk, you guys should just, chat, you guys should just, mingle and the whole likes of that. Here's the truth about therapy. Therapy is for people who want to understand themselves. Just like I said, heal, grow, or cope better. You don't need to be falling apart to benefit from therapy. You don't need to, get to a point where it seems like you're having nightmares. You get to a point where you're having nightmares, like every night you wake up with heavy dreams, heavy fears, heavy highs, everything. No, that is not therapy. That is not therapy. That is not the only point where you get to need therapy. Number two lie about therapy is that therapists will judge you. They will look at it. I believe in the previous chapter, there was a place where I was talking about something where I told you that I'm not trying to judge you. I'm not trying to, I'm not judging. No, at no point will the therapist judge you. They're only trying to create solution. They're only trying to create, a safe space for you. The truth about therapy is that therapists are trained to provide non-judgmental, confidential support. That is what is in the book. So, number three, talking won't change anything. That's one of the lies. You say, oh, talking will not change anything. Talking cannot change anything. No. Therapy is not just talking. It is structured and goal-oriented and evidence-based. Talking in a safe, guided way changes how the brain processes experience. Sometimes talking can make things change. No matter who it is, no matter how it is, no matter where it is, talking can change things. Sometimes people get to fall apart when there is no communication. Communication is not just about saying something. You don't have to say something. You don't just need to say something. You need to say something that would be understandable. Number fourth lie about therapy, the myth: I should be able to handle this on my own. Maybe you just feel like, because I've said, oh, you are your first therapist, say, oh yes, I can handle it on my own. No. You have to get to a point where you understand that you still need a therapist, no matter how much expertise. Even me as a therapist, I get to a point where I need therapist, and I consult, I speak with people, I reach out to some that are into that field, and I talk to them. I've done it several times, and it's not a new thing. You have to hear professionals speak. You have to hear the trained ones speak once you encounter issues, because that's the only way you can go, you can grow. So therapy will make things worse. That's the number fifth lie here. Therapy will make things worse. That's if I talk about it to make things worse, to make people feel more bad around me and the whole likes of that. Why therapy can be, the truth here is that why therapy can bring up difficult emotions, it is done at a safe space and tool to manage stress. I mean, you feel stress and you just know that, oh, at this point I need therapy. So one of the other points here is finding the right therapist fits. So, types of therapists that you should know about. We have the psychologist, we have the licensed counselors or therapists, we have the clinical social workers, we have the psychiatrists. Psychologist is where I belong most of the time. We have the licensed counselors or therapists. These are people that are certified. They've gone to a school where they were taught on how to be a therapist. I mean, that's also actually cool. That's actually a very cool thing to do, and it's something I'm pursuing towards. For now, I cannot just say, oh, I'm not a therapist because I'm a psychologist. I can think through your discussion, your talk, your communication, think through it and provide solution to you. But one of the reasons why we get to a point where we say, okay, we need a license is so when you get there, some countries where you can't practice it, even as a psychologist, you can't practice if you are not, licensed, because they'll take you through some steps. You have to go through some exams and do certain things to ensure that you are not giving people the wrong advice. And this whole certification thing came up because there have actually been incidents where people in the past have advised people wrongly. Maybe therapists are just being emotional. Emotional therapists will tell you, oh, maybe somebody offended you. He will not tell you, oh, do you have a gun with you? You say yes. You say, okay. What's the usefulness of the gun? Is to, shoot whoever that is a threat to my life. Then you say, okay, you know what to do. Then you go home, and the next thing, the person talks to you badly, you pick up your gun, poo, poo, poo. The person is dead. Then you tell yourself, I didn't mean to do it to my therapist. Things like this and more is what we are for. Avoid. The clinical social workers. These are people. I've once, written in one of my posts, sometime in the past, where I said, people, you know, people that people that are doctors administer therapy as well. When you want to go for surgery, yeah, there's a part of surgeon, the profession, this surgeon profession that helps people, prepares people's mind. It prepares them for anything, any medical process. Maybe it's insulin for diabetes, maybe it's what's it called, cancer treatment, the whole process and everything. It is a process. It's not a sweet process. It's a process that involves your body will be reacting to different things. So there should be a therapist that will tell you that I've done this thing for somebody else, and this is the result. It worked out fine. So I'm ensuring you that even if the person has not done it before, the person will tell you that so person has done it and it worked, and I understand how the person did it. I can help you as well. But the person tell you these are the things you should avoid. What is the origin of they telling people that before you go for surgery or anything, you should not eat food? You should not, drink too much water and, the whole likes of that. It is a point of therapy. It is clinical therapy. If they don't do that, a lot of things will go wrong. So that's a point where, therapists as well come out from the, medical aspect. Then we have the psychiatrists. These are people that help people that are, totally, they are mentally gone. These ones, they can't come to you for therapy. You have to go to them for therapy. You have to go to them. People that are already mentally disabled, man, they are already mentally disabled. Disabled people, the point at which they need therapists is, for this, these are the psychiatrists. They help them to grow, they help them understand themselves better. Even people that are going through rehabilitation, maybe people that have, been drug induced, a lot of things like that. This is where they get help. They get help from psychiatry. So you can see that therapy is broad. It is not just about talking about your trauma and just talking about it's broad. You deal with the psychologist, you deal with the medical team, you deal with the clinical team, and you also deal with the psychiatrists. You also deal with the licensed teams. These ones are the people that they are trained for a particular location. You cannot use your license of a particular country to still work in another country entirely. You have to be like you have to understand the process there. And this process of license is not something that just puts you off, as puts you in a way that makes you feel like you are not qualified. No, it's not the certificate, it's not the paper that makes you qualified. It's you point at which you understand the culture. You cannot go to a place where their culture is polygamy. They marry 10 wives, and you're giving therapy, and you're telling them that 10 wife is a very evil thing to do. It's a blah blah blah. You need to understand emotional intelligence. You need to understand the tactic used, and that is where the license comes in. That is where they give you all the guidelines to get all these things done. So I've said a lot of this thing. I mean, there's still a lot of points under this particular. I'll just conclusively say you don't have to heal alone. Consult a therapist. Let the therapist help you through the process. It's free. It's free over here at Mend Your Mind. You can just come get a call, a 1 hour call with us, or a 1 hour chat with us. It could be video, it could be voice, it could be anything. Just get a moment with us, and you'll be glad you did, because it's a very sweet process, a very basic process. It doesn't have to take your time, it doesn't have to take your energy, it doesn't have to take so much from you. All you just need to do is a point where you realize that I need help. Once you come to a point where you realize that you need help, and a therapist can offer this help, it is the basic. Just come, and we'll give it to you freely. Don't forget to get this book. There's still so many points I didn't mention, and I wouldn't mention it here because you still need to get the book. I mean, even if you get the book, read and read again.